All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the sixth ever Ritz podcast. Our first one in like a month or something. It's been a while. So let's just get right into it. So first of all, I just want to talk about the Western or the conference finals so far, the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals, but mainly the Eastern Conference Finals because that's starting to heat up. The Celtics are down 2-3 against the Heat and yeah, thoughts anybody?
I think the Heat are gonna win. I think the Celtics, I guess they just hit a lot of shots. I'm not sure how many real adjustments they made, and yeah, I think they just won that game because of like they just felt they needed to win, and they were able to put like all that energy in one quarter. But I don't think they're gonna or one half. But I don't think they're gonna be able to put it for a whole game in Game 6 and actually win the series. I think also the Heat will make good adjustments. And also, I also don't think that Kemba Walker's been playing that good as compared to like someone like Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson, who have been. I think Duncan
Yeah,
Robinson's been shooting better than Klay Thompson from three. So I think
they
that the
need to.
Heat will win in six. I'm not.
Most of the Celtics
Yeah.
need to like step up their game right now. I feel like, but like another thing is like with the Heat, right? As we've seen throughout the playoffs, like for example, Toronto in the second round, even though they didn't win, they they let them come back. They forced a 7-game series after being down 2-0, right?
Mhm.
I feel like it would have just been better for them just to close them out right now, and other than give them some hope, like we've
Yeah.
seen in all the Nuggets series and the Toronto series.
Mhm. Like
Yeah,
winning Game 5 is crucial, but it's also really hard. And I think even though we're not, maybe we should like that's what separates other teams from teams like the Lakers with LeBron. LeBron will not lose Game 5. I guarantee you,
yeah.
it will be a Lakers win because LeBron knows how to close out series, and he will be going to like his 13th final or what is it? He went to like
David, do
Yeah,
you have any David, do you have
this,
any thoughts on that?
the Nuggets are coming back from 3-1
Okay, why?
because Nikola Jokic he's proven time and time again that he's the best player in the NBA. And Jamal Murray, he's probably a top 3 point guard. And they never choked 3-1, so they're going to win.
They are choked down, being down 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've put themselves in like such massive holes each 3 times. I feel like this time LeBron is just like
It's
just
all
trying to
mind
play off.
games. He's trying to give LeBron hope. They intentionally went down 3-1 so LeBron can have hope.
no.
Play
I
off
But they're
think
going to
LeBron
come
is
back.
just gonna put them
I
to
think
sleep.
honestly it's been Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has been outperforming LeBron this series. He made the game winner. He's the one been putting up like 30-point games. Uh I think he's a leading scorer for the Lakers this series. Uh I think yeah, Anthony Davis is just Nikola Jokic's defense is just way too weak for some really good player like Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is just proving that like he is way better than Nikola Jokic, and it's not close. Even like the only advantage that Jokic actually has is his passing. Like even for three pointers, Anthony Davis is still pretty good. And when you like set proper screens, Anthony Davis can make a wide open three. It shows you that like the story of Game 5 will be Anthony Davis. He's probably gonna get like he'll get close to 40 points. LeBron will get close to like 20, but LeBron will have 12 assists and maybe like
I,
some
I think
random
Jamal
role.
Murray. I think Jamal Murray will drop 45 in Game 5 to win.
He'll drop like 42 to lose. That's what I think. Like he's still a really good player, but
I
he's
think
not
I
gonna
think the
win.
Lakers will win in 6.
I think Jamal Murray has potential to go off for 70
But
in
listen,
game
listen.
5.
I think if the Nuggets force a Game 7, then they're gonna win.
No, I don't think hasn't LeBron like never lost a Game 7 or
I'm not sure, but like the thing is, yeah, the Nuggets just keep digging themselves into holes. Like I feel like this time they're just too fatigued, and then playoff. Yeah, as I said before, playoff LeBron is just gonna put them to bed.
also playoff Rondo. Rondo's been so good at defense this series. Like in
Yeah,
that one
Rondo,
game,
Rondo.
in
Yeah,
that one game that the Lakers lost, it was Rondo forcing turnovers that was able to get them. So I think that like that's a that like wait, doesn't you know how many points Jamal Murray has been averaging this series?
probably around like 30,
I would
Also,
assume
25.
like around like 25 or something.
um
Definitely like 5 points less than Anthony Davis. Yeah.
So it's like around 27 or 20. It's like around 27, which is like still pretty high. But I think it would be like way higher. Like he would be putting up his 40-point games if it weren't for people like Rondo. I think Rondo's gonna like, and it depends how good Rondo's gonna be. Jamal Murray might only score like something like 20, which yeah, it's higher than his season average, but for playoff Jamal Murray, that's still pretty low. And actually in the
But I
playoffs,
think first of all, you have to be a really good player just to have like people call you playoff, like have a
Yeah, I
playoff
know.
side that's better,
Jamal Murray's
right?
playoff points per game is 25 compared to his regular season, which is 15.5.
Jamal Murray's been
Nice.
going crazy.
Wasn't
And
he
then
saying
game 5, Black Cobain could appear here.
what?
But like the thing for the Lakers is that all of their role players are starting to step up. Like last game, Contavious Caldwell-Pope really stepped up, and had some nice stops, played some good offense, and then we talked about Rondo, and like all of their
Caruso.
supporting players are doing their job, and to add to that, their stars are also doing their job. But with the Nuggets, you can't really what's it called? You can't really predict. You can't really predict like what they're going to do, if they're going to have an off night, if they're going to have an on night, because
Paul
you know
Millsap has been bad for the Nuggets.
yeah, Paul Millsap is just he gives nothing on offense. Like honestly, he just gives nothing on offense. Like if he has a wide open dunk, he'll take it, but like other than that, there's literally like there's nothing much he can do. He's not shooting well at all. Like
Speaking of not shooting well, Danny Green's pretty bad. He's like in this Nugget series, game 2 there's like 4 of 14. That's from field goal, but 3-point. He went 3 of 10, then 1 of 3 the next game, then 1 of 4. Like these are just awful. Danny Green, I don't know why he's playing so bad, but
dude, he's
he
like
needs to have his
Paul
minutes
George in the
reduced.
playoffs.
He
At
was like
least
good
this
with the
time.
Raptors. Now he's playing like Pandemic P, to use an overused nickname.
Yeah. And then wait, what was I talking about? I forgot.
Paul Millsap not shooting well.
Yeah. It's like for the Nuggets, right? It's a choice between Michael Porter Jr., who will give you some offense and is like kind of selfish. He's young, so he's gonna have to learn from that. But you have to choose between him and an experienced Paul Millsap who just hasn't been performing, but he gives you
Bro, it's
like
not a
decent
choice.
defense. What are you talking
That's like
about?
saying, bro, the Rockets have to choose between Westbrook, who's inefficient, or Jeff Green. That's basically the same comparison. They have to choose between
Exactly. Yeah,
Westbrook or Jeff Green.
Michael Porter Jr. just gets picked on defensively, and his inexperience really comes to light. And that's partly on the Nuggets side for like having to rely on him very heavily. But
Yeah,
if
but at the end of the day, he's still a LeBron stopper, and he's probably one of the clutchest players in the league,
Well, we'll see after the Lakers win Game 5. But I think
and an AD stopper.
unless anyone else has anything else to say, I think we should start talking about either the Clippers or just the future of the Rockets.
I think the Rockets have no future, and
Same.
Yeah.
dude, and like especially I find it hilarious that Harden says we need a third piece. Like, how are we gonna get a third piece with 2 supermax contracts on our team?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like
160
it's
million
just
for
so
Chris Paul.
disappointing.
I
That's the
called this out
biggest
like 2
mistake.
years ago. I said if the Rockets don't win now, then there's no chance at winning.
Yeah, they're in win now mode, and honestly, like with this whole like small ball experiment, God, it just did pretty like bad. Like
There's
The
no way to
Rockets-
like significantly get better.
The Rockets
Yeah,
did the
honestly.
championship.
I
And
feel like I
Wait,
think
wait.
if
Yeah,
the
when
only
Chris
way
Paul
you
got
can
injured.
win is like if you get a center like Miles Turner or like I don't Or know Marc any
Jokic.
3 and D center.
Wait,
Yeah.
3-and-D, never mind. I think Jokic
Yeah.
would fit on the Rockets. But he
Yeah, but
won't.
Jokic isn't gonna come to the Rockets. The thing is, like, if you're the Rockets, like, if you're Daryl Morey, like, what do you actually do? Like, do you trade Gordon? Do you keep Gordon? Do you keep like half of these players, like Ben McElmore, like Jeff Green, all these guys who are like going into free agency next year? Do you keep them and keep with this sort of experiment, or do you go
Oh,
sign,
we need
trade
a center.
new
We
people?
were doing so good with Capella. Like Capella himself wasn't doing good, but the team was doing good with him.
I hope the team did good like after Capella.
Yeah, the regular season was good.
No, like yeah, in the regular season they did better after Capella because just PJ Tucker is really strong. But PJ Tucker is also old and he won't be able to do this forever.
I think PJ Tucker is someone that we need to keep. Dude, I think
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna like completely rebuild the team, we keep Harden, PJ Tucker, Covington, and then we try to trade Westbrook, but it probably won't happen. So we're gonna have to keep a supermax as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But like,
Against
I
think
if
Jamal
you can
Murray
trade
is-
for like, if you can trade for Myers Leonard, that'd be like good too. Like
Mhm.
someone, basically any 6'10" plus player that can shoot.
like Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, but Kelly Olynyk isn't like a force in the paint. Like
Yeah.
AD could still bully him hard more than he bullied PJ Tucker.
And I was in the trade machine, and I worked out like a decent trade for Harden. I think it consisted of like K Fuller or something.
I don't
No,
think
K Felder,
Harden.
Gary Harris, Vlatko Kankar, and Miles Plumlee would match Harden's contract. So I think if the Rockets need like some new faces, I think that'd be a good trade.
No, I'm serious.
You're getting rid of Harden, a very inefficient player, so the Nuggets will take on the burden of having Harden.
I think,
but then the Rockets will get two young players, Van Carr and Fuller.
Be
The
serious.
Rockets aren't going to trade Harden. Like they signed him for that supermax not only because they thought he could win a championship, but also like he's an important part of the team's revenue, and he's like the core.
Yeah,
of the
he's
team.
like they're
not going to
he
trade.
takes the money.
Yeah, they're
but
not
then he
gonna
also
trade
brings in
Harden.
the money. Yeah.
Like if they're going to pay that supermax, they might as well like get all the playoff revenue as well.
Wait, who would you hire as a coach if you're the Rockets since D'Antoni is leaving? Is there like anybody that comes to mind? Because they're eyeing like Sam Cassell, they're eyeing Jeff Van Gundy, and I feel like Jeff Van Gundy would be like a good new face, kind of like tough on the players, and someone who doesn't specifically like have his own system, but is good with players and all that stuff. He was also like coaching the Rockets before during the T-Mac and Yao era.
I think a good coach for the Rockets would be maybe King of the Fourth Quarter, since he knows a lot about basketball and like he could really help them win championships.
And
so I think they should.
Yeah, he should be a GM one day.
He's rebuilt the team enough times to actually.
Yeah, he's rebuilt the team multiple times and managed to be successful with it. So I think he'd be really good in the Rockets system.
Actually, wait, isn't Jeff Van Gundy a good defensive coach or?
Like we don't need defense.
Yeah, he is. Or
Yeah,
that's
so
what I've heard.
That's what I've heard too. And I think that's what like the Lakers did, right? Like Frank Vogel is like a good defensive coach when it came to the Magic and the Pacers. The Lakers got him, and now they have like a really good defense. Like they like LeBron. Like I don't think it's in addition to just getting good players, like you still need to have like some sort of like cohesive unit that can actually play defense together. The Lakers like in the year before this year, so last year they were just like horrible at defense. Like I think second worst in the league. Only worst team was the Suns, and then now they're like really good at defense. So I think that the Rockets should do the same thing. Get a good defensive coach. Like James Harden's going to be like fire on offense anyways. Like a good defensive coach that still knows how to use Harden.
I think if we can have a starting lineup of like everything just shifted up on like take out Eric Gordon and then move Robert Covington and PJ Tucker up a position. So we have Westbrook, Harden, Covington, who are really good for the Rockets. PJ Tucker was a solid shooter and a great defender. And just any kind of stretch big, like it's not that hard to find them in today's NBA if you think about it. Like realistically, there's one on like half the teams in the NBA, and we don't even need like a super amazing defensive player. As long as they can somewhat hold down the paint, we'll be fine.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But like, so
Wait, what are you guys' thoughts on the Daniel House situation? How he just got sent out of the bubble without like quote unquote conclusive evidence.
Dude, what was he thinking?
I mean, yeah.
I didn't know too much about it, so I can't really comment.
Apparently, like he called in one of the coronavirus checkers into his room to
and then
give him a coronavirus check. What's wrong with
to give him a coronavirus check?
Yeah.
I mean, a test.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that?
But anyway, regarding the Rockets, I think they could also like bring in a traditional center,
because Harden's really good with like lobs. Because when he drives, the defense has to converge onto him. So whichever center is sitting like right next to the basket can just get an easy standing lob.
No, but Westbrook's
Yeah,
really bad with those
like
centers.
whenever
Like-
during the Capella era, like he played very well with him. Like there was honestly no way to guard him, like the screen and roll, because Harden would, if Capella set a good screen, Harden could step back and get an easy three. If not, he could roll, potentially throw a lob or like fake the lob and take a layup. It was a great time of basketball. And then also Capella was a great defensive player, could really hold down the paint and all that.
Capella was like basically JaVale McGee, honestly, like that type of player. Like JaVale McGee would be good for the Rockets too, but they're not going to get him. Like no, but the thing is that traditional centers don't work with Westbrook, because then when Westbrook cannot shoot, when he tries to drive, the person that's just guarding the center will just just step onto Westbrook, and Westbrook just doesn't have the basketball IQ and the passing ability to get the pass to the center. And either way, there are still ways to get around that by since the center's just so tall, it'll be harder for Westbrook to pass anyways. So like Westbrook is the one that's stopping the Harden Capella days, because he just can't.
The thing is,
shoot.
we can't trade him. No one's gonna want a Westbrook that's regressing on a supermax contract.
When you realize Jamal Murray has had
That's
a better
true.
playoff run than Westbrook ever has.
Dude, Westbrook is he's just disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the Rockets should target like an Aaron Baines or like a Myers Leonard.
I
don't think Aaron Baines is he shot very well for like a good 2 months, but I don't think he's the kind of
But
shooter
I mean,
that
still,
we need.
he was good on
big.
he was like a
hold down the
LeBron
paint.
stopper on the Celtics.
Yeah.
Not LeBron stopper, but like.
Speaking of the Celtics too, Daniel Dice is playing so good. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's playing really well for like a team that was supposed to be a bad team for centers, or like a bad
bad center team. Or
yeah. Isn't he like pretty short? Isn't he like one of the tallest people on their lineup? But he's pretty short.
Yeah, he's like 6'8". Yeah, he's 6'8".
It's like kind of the Rockets stuff, but they have actual efficient shooters. Yeah, I don't understand how the Rockets got all sharp shooters and we're still shooting like 30% from three most games. Exactly. Like I don't logically you shoot the same threes, right? And then over time your shooting percentage should get better. It's just so inconsistent. Like we just have a bunch of inconsistent shooters. Like we need to trade Eric Gordon. You get Eric Gordon, who can one game he'll go off, and then the next game he'll just do horrible. And then Robert Covington was so up and down through the playoffs. He one game he would go 6 for 8 from three, and then the next game he would go 1 for 9. Remember that Mavs game at the beginning of the bubble? He shot 1 for 9. Dude, that was crazy. But then he got the clutch offensive rebound. Yeah, I remember that.
So I guess if we're gonna conclude, and if we were gonna give our advice to the Rockets GM, we would say trade Eric Gordon for
trade Eric Gordon.
some stretch big.
Even I think Eric Gordon.
Dude, trade him for a pick. Trade him. Just get him off of our lineup.
Trade Westbrook if you can.
Yeah. I don't know about Westbrook because he's under a contract, and for a while he was playing very well in our system. He was getting to the lane. He was scoring 40, consistently. But then I don't know. He just lost it. He just lost his touch over the bubble or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so trade Eric Gordon, trade Westbrook if you can, sign King of the Fourth Quarter, and that's it.
Well, sign
that's a championship
with that
team.
new cap space that you'll have. You should sign efficient 3-point shooters, if applicable.
Yeah.
On the smallest contracts you can give them.
All right, let's move on to the clip, or let's move on to the finals first. So, or actually, no. Let's move on to the.
Let's move on to the finals.
Lakers Heat.
Let's move on. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, actually, let's just have everyone's finals predictions. I think it's Lakers Heat.
It's gonna be Nuggets Heat.
Yeah. I feel like it's that hard to make a prediction. Two teams are currently up 3-1 in CG. Yeah. The Nuggets Heat. It's gonna be Lakers Heat, and then
Nuggets Heat.
Honestly, no matter who comes out of the East or the West, the team from the West is gonna win.
Yeah, team from the West is definitely gonna win. So Jamal Murray and Jokic are gonna get their first ring this year.
AD will get his first ring. LeBron will get his fourth.
But
next year maybe.
Although the Celtics might still have a chance of winning, the Lakers probably will win.
the teams with the best futures in the coming years are definitely the Heat and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
The Heat are just set for like the next 5, 6,
Yeah.
7 years.
And then the Nuggets are like, if they can get one more good piece, there's that the difference between the Nuggets needing one more piece and the Rockets needing one more piece is that they don't have any massive contracts.
Yeah. Well, isn't
They
Jamal
have
Murray
they
on
have
one?
young, like
It's
But
not
he's
good
no,
good.
efficient players.
it's not even a max.
It's like 195 million, but I don't know how many years, like 5 or 4. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's a max.
Yeah. But like he deserves
But
it.
the Nuggets have assets to get that one piece.
No, the Rockets
The
have no
Rockets
picks
don't.
either because we traded everything for Westbrook.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
also,
doesn't-
the Thunder are so set.
yeah, they have like
They have
so many draft picks.
So many picks.
Wait, didn't like there's a time when like the Celtics had so many picks, but honestly, I don't think the Celtics made the best use. Like they should have just traded for Anthony Davis.
And like the funny thing is, both teams that traded to the Thunder that wanted to win this year, none of them even made the conference finals.
The Clippers and also who else? The
The
Rockets.
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 Right.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah, that's the only word I can really use to describe this. All right, do you
It's
want to
like-
move on to the Clippers? Like,
Yeah.
just rant about the Clippers? Because the Clippers, man, just the
Dude,
Clippers.
Paul George is so bad.
Yeah, Paul George and then Kawhi choked there. But honestly, I feel like you can't really blame him. He was playing pretty well the whole series.
I don't think Kawhi should have left the Raptors.
Yeah, you shouldn't have left.
Yeah.
I think he probably shouldn't.
Because
have. And
that's a
especially
team
'cause, like,
that's a team that went to Game 7 against the team that like might come out of the come in the
They
finals.
just played so lazy. Like, you know how like their whole brand like last year was like grit and grind. Like, you know, Patrick Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, they like dive on the floor and play gritty. They just played so lazy. You know, they settled. They played like, I mean, they have good defensive pieces, so they played good defense. But there were times where like Jamal Murray would just like out hustle them. They were just, I don't know. He was just playing better than them. Like he was just out gritting them.
Yeah, I think regarding Kawhi, he should have stayed. I think like back to that point, he definitely should have stayed in the Raptors. Like Pascal was developing, Fred VanVleet would be developing. It would be in a
Dude,
situation where
Kyle Lowry is not regressing yet. Like he's not like Russell
Yeah,
Westbrook.
Kyle
This dude
Lowry's
is not
not-
getting worse.
Kyle Lowry's just kind of like staying the same, improving some aspects. He's like a good team player, a good lead. He can actually lead the team if necessary. But I think Kawhi just wanted to like that LA lifestyle with all the endorsements. He wanted to try it and be in LeBron's position.
Yeah, but it just didn't. I don't know, man. I like you would think like these two pieces would fit, but I feel like with the Clippers, you need like a floor general. You know, what's it called? King of the Fourth Quarter was talking about this. He was talking about how like lots of previous championship teams are like teams that were very successful. They have a floor general. So like with the Warriors, it was Curry,
Draymond Green.
Draymond, and then with the Cavs, it was LeBron. And then with the Raptors, it was Lowry.
Speaking of or like, not really, but who do you think's a better or who do you think's a better center, Bam Adebayo or Joel Embiid?
Joel Embiid.
I don't
That's
think Bam's
like-
there yet, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe
I
in like
think,
a few years.
I think
I don't
Bam's
think the
there.
76ers have a future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
the
with,
76ers just wasted, just like absolutely
They were-
blew it.
expected to be in the finals this year, and they had the roster too. Unfortunately, Ben Simmons got injured.
And I don't
Yeah.
think Ben Simmons even fits with Joel Embiid. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think he's like a bad shooter, and that kind of applies to Giannis. Except Giannis is a freak of nature, but Ben Simmons has like amazing passing ability. He needs to like, I don't know. He's gonna be like a Westbrook type player, honestly. Maybe worse because he's not as strong.
Yeah, But, like,
I think Giannis is just like people are gonna start hating on him a lot more now. Now that he's just
He's
the only
losing in the
game that
big-
they
yeah.
won was when his
He's
team
starting
played without him.
he's starting to get that choker reputation. He's like starting to become like I can compare him to like LeBron.
Before
For the
the
first few years on the team that he was drafted by, he just he was expected to do good, then he just choked. He's choked consistently. Like I feel like the Heat shouldn't have beat them. I mean honestly, like most of it has to fall on their supporting cast. Like Chris Middleton just did not play well. Kyle Korver was their shooters just were hesitant to shoot, and that's their game plan, right? You have Giannis driving, and if like the defense collapses on him, you pass out to your shooters and they get wide open threes. But if they're not like willing to shoot, then what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I don't know. When you see a bunch of these teams, like they look on paper that they have good players, but they end up failing. I think it just makes you appreciate the ones that actually succeed, like Steph Curry way more and LeBron, like all these like supposedly good shooters than just being inefficient.
And I think these
Really
playoffs
shows
are
up,
really
like
showing
Curry
like
and
the team
Thompson.
leaders. Like I
Yeah.
think Jimmy Butler is not only a great player, but he's leading the team like exceptionally.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's not like, at like the caliber of like, someone like Anthony Davis or LeBron or even Westbrook, he's still, he's I think he's like his leadership is the only reason the Heat are even close to where they are now.
And
Yeah.
Spoelstra's coaching.
Yeah, and Spoelstra's coaching, obviously.
So I can just wait for next year. Next year is going to be like all these teams, along with the Nets, who are going to be good next year, and the Warriors.
I don't think Kyrie's gonna do good. I don't like maybe with KD he'll do better.
I think no, he's not the leader now. KD's the
I
leader.
think KD needs to take a leadership position on that team.
Yeah,
Not
he's
not
think, like,
figuratively.
yeah, but like the thing is, that's what
Yeah.
that's
But
what he
KD isn't like a leader like that. Like even on the Warriors and the Thunder, it was always Westbrook, Curry, or Draymond. It was never him.
I think on the Thunder he took that role. He kind of embraced it, but on the Warriors he kind of like stepped back for Curry and
But
Draymond
that's
to
understandable. Like you're joining a team that won 2 rings without you. Like you're not gonna step up and be a leader.
Yeah, but with Kyrie, he's gonna need to like step up and embrace that role.
Because Kyrie's just not a good locker room presence.
Yeah, Kyrie's just toxic.
Wait, which
More
team is
toxic
like?
than David.
Wait, who has a good pick right now in the draft? Isn't it the Timberwolves?
Wait, let me check.
I don't remember. I think the Wolves have the first pick.
And then
I don't think Andrew Wiggins is good. I don't think they're.
Well, he's
like
on the
anyone
Warriors.
Yeah, I don't think he should be picked up by the Warriors. I think their team is good enough to win a ring as is. Or like, he might be like an Iguodala type player, but he just doesn't bring the same experience as Iguodala.
I think the Warriors. There's no way they're gonna draft LaMelo Ball. I also think that LaMelo Ball is gonna end up really bad.
I think they're gonna draft James
I feel
Wiseman.
like he's just gonna be a bust. So number 1 is Minnesota, number 2 is Golden State, number 3 is Charlotte, 4 Chicago, 5 Cleveland, and so on. I feel like if Wiseman falls to the second pick, then they should definitely take him. He's a big man who.
I think before that, the Warriors should try to trade the pick. I think drafting Wiseman should be like a second option.
No, I think
they should they trade it for, or what should they trade it for?
Cash considerations.
Cash considerations, or maybe Gary Harris in like a first
Oh my
rounder.
gosh.
Dude, how many years of superstarness do you think Curry has left?
Like
I don't really know, to be honest.
Probably 5.
If he has 5,
I couldn't really tell you that.
Then they should take Wiseman.
Because
Dude, listen, Wiseman, after at least 2 years, he'll be, in my opinion, he'll be at least an all-star, right? Because like, look at his potential. Like, dude is supposed to be, like a potential Hall of Fame center in the future. He can shoot decently. He's a big body. He's like 7'1". He's everything the Warriors need.
This is a stretch, but if the Warriors could get like some like big time center like Embiid or Cat, then I think you should definitely trade the pick. I don't think drafting Wiseman should be the first priority.
But I don't think either of them would be willing to, except for the Timberwolves. They have literally like they have nothing in the future other than their number 1 draft pick is their future. But other than that, Cat and Wiggins, that experiment didn't work, and they've just been stagnant. Like I remember
if they get the first and second overall pick.
Yeah, 2015, 2016, like they like or something like that. They made the 8th seed. Then other than that, they've just been like bottom of the West consistently.
Yeah, they made the 8th seed. It was in like 2016-17 because they faced the Rockets. like that was when people thought the Timberwolves actually like. No, I also thought that the Timberwolves were going to be good when they had Zach LaVine. I thought that Zach LaVine was a good shooting guard, and now he's on the Bulls because they traded for Jimmy Butler, and that ended up failing. But
I don't
Wait.
like Zach LaVine as a player.
So Nuge, you're telling me if they could trade the pick for Cat, you wouldn't do that. You'd rather just
What?
draft
No,
Wiseman.
I would, but they're not gonna get Cap for the pick.
yeah. Do you think the
What
Warriors
about Gary
should get rid
Harris
of
in a
Draymond?
first?
No. Do you think the Warriors should get rid of Draymond Green?
No, Draymond Green is
No.
No,
future Hall
Draymond
of
Green is
Famer,
there
and
like
he's still
heart.
good.
He's not that good, but like he's
kinda-
there like heart and soul of the team.
In the 73-9 Warriors, Draymond was he shot pretty good from three, around like 33%. But now he's just so bad. Like Draymond was never disrespected from three until like more recently. And I think but no one else can replace what he does, which kind of means the Warriors should just draft Eisman and see how it goes. They're gonna.
I think he's the best multi-position defender in the NBA,
yeah.
other than Kawhi.
Other than Kawhi, yeah. Or LeBron. LeBron can guard positions 1 through
Dude,
5.
Or
at
Gary
30
Harris. Gary
At
Harris
30,
can guard like
at
1 through
35,
5,
I
I'm
don't know
pretty sure.
about LeBron.
Huh? What? Are you serious? Bruh. LeBron is like much stronger, and I'm not sure if he's taller, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, to wrap it up, thank you everyone for tuning into the Ritz podcast.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you watch the Nuggets win tonight, and goodbye.